and welcome to this presentation where we are going to have a look at what are the railroad tracks of your safe agile release trains. How are they built? What is sort of important in that case? But first to myself, my name is Romano Roth and I am the Chief of DevOps and a partner at Zürich. I work for Zürich now since 22 years, joined Zürich directly after university as a junior .NET engineer, became then expert software engineer, then an architect and finally a consultant. And one thing that was always very close to my heart is how can we continuously deliver value, how can we automate things, and how can we ensure the quality of what we are building, and of course also how can we organize our teams so that we are able to continuously deliver value for fast flow. So when the whole DevOps movement started, I jumped right on top of that, became one of the organizers of the DevOps Meetup Zürich, which is a monthly meetup we are doing. We have over 2,500 subscribers in there, and I'm also one of the organizers of the DevOps Days Zürich, which is a yearly conference we are doing in Zürich. And these DevOps Days, they are all around the world in all of the big cities, and I'm the president of the DevOps Days Zürich. So you can see that DevOps lies very close to my heart. This is also why I have my own YouTube channel with over 250 videos all around DevOps. I also write my own book about the digital factory, and I also post a lot, tweet a lot on all of these social media channels. So if you want to learn more about DevOps, platform engineering, architecture, then please follow me on these channels. In my projects, I work with different companies in different industries doing DevOps transformation, introducing platform engineering, doing architecture, and currently I'm working as a product manager on a platform which is the foundation of a digital transformation we are doing for LGT. But more to that a little bit later during this presentation. Now, this whole talk focuses, of course, on SAFe, on the Scaled Agile Framework, and how we can continuously deliver value for fast flow. So you all know the big picture of SAFe, and in there you can see the continuous delivery pipeline and, of course, DevOps. And in my opinion, the image is a little bit wrong, because the continuous delivery pipeline should be sort of the foundation of that SAFe framework. And why this is the case is something I will show you in a minute. We also will look at the what and also how to build such a continuous delivery pipeline, or even how we can build sort of the foundation of such a SAFe transformation. And in the end, we will also do a quick demo of such a platform. Now, when we look at the continuous delivery pipeline, then you might have recognized that the continuous delivery pipeline always has all of the workflows, all of the activities, all of the automation in there. And this is, of course, very, very important, but you can also see that it holds quite a lot of things in there, as you can see. And all of these automation activities are needed in order to continuously deliver value. So this is quite a lot that these agile release trains or these agile teams need to do. Now, it even gets worse, because in SAFe we want to do DevOps, which means you need to build it, but you also need to run it. That means that each agile release train needs to have infrastructure, cloud or on-prem. It needs to have runtime like Docker or Kubernetes. It needs to have GitLab, Circle CI. It needs to have monitoring like Prometheus or Dynatrace. It needs to have security like Snyk or SonarQube. And it needs to have tools like Jira or Confluence in there. And of course, when we are in the cloud, it is especially important to do cost management on top of that. We also need to maintain all of these tools in our art. And of course, we also need to provide to our team access and identity to these tools. And I completely forgot, such an Agile Release Train also wants to build a solution. And yeah, up there is your solution. That's quite a lot that an art needs to do. Now think of a huge organization where you have multiple arts and each one has such a continuous delivery pipeline. This leads usually to quite a lot of inconsistencies. You can see that there is quite a lot of tools in there, so the complexity is quite high. And usually the cognitive load to these teams is very, very huge. So that's quite a bad thing. So how do we overcome these challenges? Now, in 2019, Matthew Skelton and Manuel Paes have written that book, Team Topologies, which had a huge influence on DevOps. And in that book, they pointed out exactly this cognitive load, and they said, look, according to that, we have 4 fundamental topologies. First, we have the streamed aligned teams, which work on a product, on a domain, and we have the enabling team that help the streamed aligned team to overcome the obstacles, and we have complicated subsystem teams which work on a complicated subsystem on that value stream. And then we have the platform team, which is a group of people that provide a platform for these teams so that they can deliver the value. Now, when we put SAFe and Team Topologies together, then it looks like this. You have the Agile Release Train and you have these streamed aligned teams, you have the enabling team, you have the complicated subsystem team, and you have the platform team in an Agile Release Train. When you bring that all into the terminology of SAFe, then it looks like this. You have agile teams, you have a system team in there, which enables the teams. You have the agile team, which has a very close focus on a subsystem. And you have an agile team that takes care of focuses on the platform. When you think bigger and you have multiple Agile Release Train, it can be beneficial to have even a platform Agile Release Train. But just to give you a little bit of sizing, this would mean that you have a platform team containing over 50 to 120 people, which is quite huge for a platform team. But of course, there are huge companies out there, and there it can make sense to go into this direction. Now, so far, so good. This is sort of the theory, but how do you build such a platform team and such a platform? Let's go a little bit deeper into that. So what you want to do is build this platform team. That platform team builds a platform. This is an internal product. This product has an internal customer. The customer are the agile teams or the art, so the Agile Release Trains. These are the internal customers of that product, of that internal product platform. This platform has, as you can see, all of the tools which these agile teams need to build their solution. It also has all of the capabilities these agile team needs to build their solution. So the agile teams, they practice DevOps. They build, they run, they maintain, they operate their solutions using this platform. So the platform team, they are developing, building and maintaining their platform. And with that platform, they are enabling the Agile teams to do DevOps. Now, let's be a little bit precise. So for example, you see the capability observability in there, which is sort of monitoring, logging and so. So the platform team with the platform give to the teams, to the Agile teams, the capability of monitoring, logging or observing their solutions, which means that the Agile teams, they are using these tools or this capability to monitor or observe their solutions. It is not in that way that the platform team is doing the monitoring for the Agile teams. This it would be completely wrong. The platform team only gives the capability to the Agile team. The doing is within the Agile team because they are doing DevOps, they are building and running their solutions. And with that, the platform team generates value for the Agile teams, and the Agile teams, they are generating value for their customers. Now, when you look at the high-level architecture of such a platform, this is just an example how that could look like. Then you have all of the Agile teams with all of the different roles on top, and they are using this platform over the user interface, which is usually a portal, and of course also with the CLI. They are also using directly the tools provided by the platform. Usually you have a top layer, which is so-called internal developer portal. One of the most famous internal developer portals is, for example, Backstage. But with that, it does not end, because you need a layer down where you have the unified API with some automation blocks, and then you want to have some unified integration blocks for your capabilities. And here, an important architecture concept comes into play. There you want to have adapters because you just want to plug in all of the tools in there, because you never know how long, for example, GitLab is around. And in my 22 years of career, I have seen tools come and go all of the time. So therefore, you want to have adapters for each one of those tools so that you can easily also replace one of these tools or even give a new tool to the developers if this is needed. So this is sort of the high-level architecture of such a platform. Now, another very important architecture concept when you are building such a platform is the floating platform concept. This comes from Georg Hoppe, which is the author of Platform Strategy or Cloud Strategy. Awesome books, you need to read them. But this pattern says build a platform with an awesome developer experience and just plug in the tools and also all of the DevOps platforms like GitHub or GitLab, and of course also all of the cloud tools or the cloud infrastructure into this platform. But don't abstract these away, just give them access to that and don't duplicate any features, because if you are going to duplicate any features with your platform gets drawn into the abyss. And this is why you need to create a floating platform which floats on top of all of these tools. Okay, how does that look like? Now, let's have a quick demo of such a platform to see how such a platform looks like. I have brought you here the user interface of such a platform. This is a platform we have built together with LGT. LGT approached us 1.5 years ago and said they want to have also such a platform to enable their digital transformation. They are also doing SAFe at the moment, and this is sort of their railroad tracks. Here, what you can see is the Zulu plane, which is the Zürich version of this platform plane, which we of course also use for other customers. So here, this is sort of the first screen, and of course one of the first things you can see is the documentation. Here you can see all of the documentation, but you don't need to read the documentation. You can just ask our AI assistant. So for example, how to create a cluster. And with such an AI assistant, you see, you can easily chat with the documentation. And here you see one of the big advantages of having such a platform, because with that, you can easily create exactly such use cases. More to that a little bit later. We can also go into the administration area, where we see, for example, that we have 396 users on it, 11 partners, 33 spaces, and we also have that FinOps feature where we see the costs in there. Which is what is also very important. Not every user has access to the administration area. It's only because I have admin access here. Now, spaces is the other big concept that we are having here. A space can be a solution, a product, multiple products, a project, whatever. This is why we call it a space. But behind the space is a Kubernetes cluster, which you have for your projects. Each space has an owner, and here the partner concept comes into place. With that, we can onboard other companies which are working on this platform. They can bring their own identity and use their own identity to log in. And this is a very, very important concept we are having in the platform. Because with that, when someone logs in, he or she gets access to all of the tools and of course to the assigned space and repositories and everything which is in there, which allows, first of all, that partners can onboard other people of their partner group. But you can also onboard someone in the morning, and within a second, this person gets access to all of the tools, and offboard someone in the afternoon. And in that very moment, he or she loses all of the access to all of the tools and also all of the spaces and repositories, which for itself alone is absolutely amazing. Now, let's go into the platform space. The platform plane is built with the platform plane, so we are doing eat your own dog food. Here I can see all of the tools that we use for building the platform plane. When I go to the repository, I see the repositories. I can create new repositories, but I can also log in to one of my repositories. Here we can see the repository for documentation, for example, and you can see I'm automatically logged in via single sign-on, so I don't need to have multiple accounts and deal with multiple passwords. That's over when you have such a platform. Of course, the security is a very important thing. This is also why all of the repositories are continuously scanned for vulnerabilities, which you can see here. And of course, I don't need to take care about any credentials. The platform plane also documents sort of itself, as you can see here. But if I need to have a platform, I can even get it here. But usually we don't need any platforms. When we have built our software, then what usually happens is we build a container image, and this container image then goes into a registry, which you can see here. Usually you have tags, as you can see here, and again here also they will be scanned for vulnerabilities. And what we've added for our developers is you can even analyze your image with an AI. And here again, you see a great thing. As soon as you have such a platform, you can just plug in AIs and have such use cases, as you can see here, where you can analyze your Docker container image. And this is really a feature that our developers love. Well, one thing which is also very important is, especially in the finance industry, that you can see who has made the change. And here you can see we introduced some vulnerabilities, and by clicking on that, this is so-called provenance feature, we can see who has introduced this problem. And we can even go one step further and we can see what kind of build has caused these vulnerabilities. We of course also have classical packages like Maven, NuGet, npm packages. Here we don't have anything in there. And then we have the platform itself. So here we are on the Kubernetes cluster where all of the applications are running. We see here, for example, the chat application, which we use at Zürich as our chat. When I click on it, then I see the public endpoint coming up. And here the login just goes on. And this is sort of the chat we are using at Zürich. Instead of ChatGPT, we're using that one. This is a governed way how you can use different chatbots. And this is also a very important thing, because having such a platform, you can easily build on top of the platform such chatbots, which then use capabilities of the platform, and you can easily also exchange these capabilities. You see here also the Kubernetes resources nicely displayed, and of course also here we are scanning these applications for violation and also for vulnerabilities. Logging and monitoring is also very important, and you see by creating an application you have automatically Grafana in there behind Prometheus. Here with Loki, where you see all of the log files. You even have Tempo directly in there integrated, and then you see these service graphs, and of course we also have a ton of dashboards automatically in there. What does that mean is that when a developer deploys an application, he or she gets automatically all of that what you just saw. He or she does not need to care. And this is exactly the power of such platforms. And of course, you can also analyze the logs with one of our AIs. And here again, you see the power of a platform. When you have everything in one place, you can easily create these use cases. Now, another thing which is important is you also want to have some services in a governed way. For example, here you can see the Azure OpenAI feature, which would be when you want to use an AI, then you just can click on that. Usually what developers need is a SQL server, a MySQL server, or another database. And the important thing is here you get that service in a governed way, automatically generated for you with the correct naming schema, with the correct policies applied, with backups, with monitoring and observability already enabled. And again, here as a developer, I also don't need to take care about passwords. This is all done by the platform itself. And this is a huge advantage which you get out of such a platform. Exactly. I will quickly, for the next demo, go into the playground. Quickly go to the platform. What we also have for deploying application is, of course, Argo CD, where you can now see these applications. And of course, we also have pipelines in there. And here, one of the big features is, of course, you can have pipelines in your cluster itself, but sometimes you also want to self-host, especially when you are creating, for example, mobile applications. Hypervisor is just a virtual machine, creating a virtual machine. Also, again, here, creating virtual machines in a standardized way. And of course, you also have here the settings dialog, where you then see the costs, which is FinOps, and of course also the emissions that you have in your space. And again, here, this is an important thing. We enable sort of the agile teams to take care about their application or about what they are building, and they can onboard, offboard their people as they like. So what you don't want to have is sort of a ticket ops where you need to create a ticket. You really want to build a platform where the team can do self-service and take care about themselves. And this is just an example of how such a platform can look like. Now, back to the presentation. So, as you could see, platform engineering is a massive enabler. And this is also why it is so important. And this is also why Gartner says this is one of the top technology trends for 2024. Not only that, also McKinsey, BCG, and all of the global service providers and agencies are really saying platform engineering is the top trend. They are even predicting that 75% of the organizations will have such a platform in the future. And this is nothing else than your continuous delivery pipeline in SAFe, which is, in my opinion, the foundation of your whole SAFe transformation, or which is the railroad tracks for your Agile Release Trains. And with that, we're coming to an end. You have seen that platform engineering is a massive enabler. The platform engineering team creates the platform, which is your internal product, which is a self-service portal for your agile teams, for your arts, which has all of the capability and tools so that the agile teams can create their solutions. And with that, the platform is your continuous delivery pipeline, which is the railroad tracks of your Agile Release Train, and that enables your agile teams to do DevOps. And this, in the end, is how you achieve fast flow. And as you can see, and as I always say, we are clearly entering now the age of industrialization of software development. Thank you very much.